Hello, everyone. Today we'll be looking at ALEKS and how to run it with the module system. So this is one of the classes I have this year. And as you can see on the ALEKS Pi, since it's only limited, the students are already on the module system where I have real numbers open for them, which is more a review. Linear equations and inequalities is what we're learning right now. And graphs and functions, because it's sort of common between everything. So I've left it open anyway. What we do here is the ready to learn will come here. This is just my dashboard once I select my name and my class here. And then I also have my current module progress and time and topic. I cannot go ahead because of student names being visible. So if you look at these points here, there are other boxes. You can prioritize them. But what you need to remember is you can just drag and drop them from the top like this. And if you drag them all the way to the right, because it shows you that there's a page number here, you can adjust this to whatever view you want. I want my module progress to be shown. The due date is 6/9, so the date comes up here. And now I know how many days I have left from today's recording date to this time, that all the students are able to do real numbers. I've already told them in class that this is what they need to focus on, and it looks like progress is okay for about a week's worth of work left. Now, how to adjust, open new modules or adjust the current modules? We go to class administration, we go into class summary. Once that opens up, we scroll down slightly into the module setup. So the class options are only for the start of the year. Here, the modules with due dates are already listed. I don't need to touch this section. I only need to go to edit, 3 modules selected, and keep the post module check on. Once I'm in here, what I will do is I can now add new modules. So 2 modules are already done. Due dates are done. Let's say while teaching real numbers, I realize students don't know 3 topics and it's really difficult and I need to extend it. Then only this can be extended. Let's say I take it over to the following Tuesday. I make all of my work due till 10 p.m. So, kids can hit the bed on time. And then immediately, as soon as I do that, this date changes because now it's red since they cannot overlap. I cannot have one module running with the second module overlapping. So now I need to shift this to 10/9. If I do that to 10 p.m., it's just 1 minute later. That works, not a problem. And then I'm accounting right now that within 10 days, I'll be able to handle this. And then graphs and functions should be done by the 4th of October for this year. Post module check will be on. Keep in mind, this is happening as kids are finishing. So the 3-4 students I have in this class that are really running ahead of everybody else have already had their post module knowledge check. So I had to remind the students that all module checks, when you get them, do not do them on your own. You must do them in front of me in class, and these scores will be recorded. I'll show you that a little bit later. How to add a new module? Let's say some kids are running ahead, or my top 3 students have already finished these 2, and they're about nearing here. So I go into the new module. I can name it whatever I want from here. I will have to keep in mind, though, that October 4 is already loaded to 10 p.m. because it's already counting for me my next module from the last module that I finished on. I stick to ALEKS TOK. I don't want their modules because in TOK, I get the whole basket of topics provided by ALEKS for Algebra 2. And then I go into select, and I already have these. So I will now go into linear systems. Within linear systems, all the topics are listed here. Let's say students have been told linear equations, but they haven't been told applications yet. And linear inequalities, I want them to just try graphing, but I don't want them writing the inequalities yet, etc. So then what I will do is I need to either select this and click add. I have 66 topics and I can add all of them. Now I've just basically transferred the entire unit, linear systems, onto the new module. So now I can label this as linear system, or we can call this whatever we want. So we can also call this a system of linear equations. Now, once that is done, what I'm going to do is, because it's 66 topics, on average about 30 plus, some kids would have finished this already, so let's give it 2 weeks. So 4th to 18th. One trick here is you need to go back here, otherwise it just calls it out at midnight. So I put it to 10 p.m. and now all of them have gone. So this is one method to do it. If you don't need all of them, you can select them and remove them. And then you can individually select what you want. So let's say if I want this more like a preview before I start teaching this, or for the few kids who are finished already, I just select the graphing portion and the identifying. I am not ready to give them writing and solving yet because I haven't taught that in the class. And then I go into applications, and again, I'm using interpreting, and I'm not using solving and writing so far. And I look into linear inequalities, and again, I take the identifying and graphing, but I don't take the writing. I mean, whatever need you have. Minutes are already listed. So ALEKS gives you a historical data average of how many minutes will be needed to finish this. And let's say linear programming is a little bit harder, so I decide not to do this. And 3 variables, I don't want to use it all as a precursor. I don't want to use any matrices till I've taught that in class myself, so I don't want to do this. So now I just click add. Now I only have 11 topics. Estimation is 1 hour, 7 minutes. I obviously don't need 2 weeks for that. So I could just open it for, let's say, 4 days and continue. And once I've done this, just 11 topics are open. 11 topics are open, and kids can start working on these while they're working. Just one thing I want to show quickly is when I had selected the entire set and added that with 66, I had got 8 hours, 33 minutes of work. And that's why I had taken in those 2 weeks of work, because 8 hours split over would be 4 hours per week. And that's decent for class time and students' own study time. Once this is done, you just go into continue. And post-module check is on. I don't need to save draft. Once I press continue, students will be able to see this. So students already see this right now. And if I press continue, this is posted. Content has been arranged with all the topics needed. And if I go back into my display now, so now I have got 4 pies here because the 4 modules are open. Students are still needing to do this, except the 2 kids who've already done the module check for this one. They would move over to this part. Next, we're going to look into what happens here. You click on report, and then you go into knowledge per slice. So what will happen here is you can hover, or you can click on the reports and then go into knowledge per slice. It opens up like this. So all students are selected already. If you use a student group system, it'll be shown as well. Now, within this, all student presence is already here. My current module is shown. The good part about this is for you to assign work to the students. You can just click on this, and it switches to, when it reloads, it comes down to max to low. So as I said, 2 students are done, the 3rd student is really close, but obviously these are the students where I need to help. And on the left side here, you'll see the names of the students on your own dashboard. I can see linear system was just opened by me, so obviously all of them are not done with this, so they will need some time. However, the 2 students that were running ahead with their topics already have some of this covered. So they will again keep hitting this ceiling all the time, but I can always go ahead and open this. So that's how we control the modules, and we can add whatever we want and shift the dates. Moving the entire module up and down should not be done because students already have progress within real numbers. So moving linear equations first and real numbers later would be possible, but should not be done because then students have to prioritize these 166. Whereas for the last 1 week, they've been prioritizing this 117. So that should be avoided and has to be set up before students start their work. So that's the end of today's video on ALEKS, and I'll see you guys again later. Take care.